Is the reason the US is backing Israel's war against Gaza full force because of a trade route? So lately there has been some talk of what is known as the Ben Gurion Canal project, which would essentially be an alternative trade route created through Israel-Palestine, which would be inorganically carved out of the earth in order to essentially replace Egypt's Suez Canal, which of course is crucial to international shipping at this point and would bring in great revenue for the Israelis. In fact, after Israel and the United Arab Emirates normalized ties in 2020, there was a lot of talk about bringing this project to the forefront of the economic cooperation between the United Arab Emirates and Israel. Then in 2021, there was a lot more chatter about this perhaps going forward, as the United Arab Emirates and Israel did want to try and reap the benefits in that moment of perhaps providing an alternative trade route to the Suez Canal. But unfortunately, there were many issues at hand, including the environmental costs, and of course as well the fact that Saudi Arabia had not normalized ties with the Israelis, and in order to make such a project work without any problems, especially due to the waterways which ships would have to pass through to go and enter this canal, Saudi Arabia was going to have to normalize ties. Now, the Ben Gurion Canal project is not a new project. In fact, the US, according to leaked documents in 1963, proposed using some 520 nuclear bombs in order to make this work. A bit crazy, many people would think, but that is what they proposed, and this is where the trade route would run from. That's the port city of Eilat going up, and of course this would actually be a longer canal that it would have to be dug than the Suez Canal itself, and for a number of different reasons they didn't end up going through with this project. However, something that was being actively discussed prior to the October 7 Hamas attack on the Israelis was the possibility of creating a land route which would run through the Israeli-occupied territories up through the port of Haifa into Europe, and that was being called the India-Middle East-Europe Economic Corridor, and this route would have revolutionized trade. It would have involved as well perhaps pipelines which would have come into it, and this was a major item on the agenda of the G20 summit in September. And this was something the United States really wanted to bring in order to shape what Benjamin Netanyahu called at the United Nations General Assembly recently the New Middle East. Now, this is the trade route here, which would have run through the United Arab Emirates, Saudi Arabia, Jordan, occupied Palestine or Israel, and then up into Europe. And this all went up in flames with the Hamas-led attack, which happened on October 7, which sort of dismantled the idea of Israeli security. So, in order to make this project work, and of course this is integral to the United States and its plan to combat China and its trade routes through its Belt and Road Initiative, would be to try and crush Hamas and crush Gaza and crush any Palestinian resistance which could again ever try and challenge the objectives of the United States in the Middle East, in specific this trade route right here.